Hello, welcome back to the Wrestling Newsroom. I'm your host, All Things Wrestling, and today we're going to be looking at the WWE and TNA news of the last 4 days. I know I've done one this week, but there's that much news to do. I'm going to try and do one on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and one on Sunday or Monday, so twice a week, if I can do it. But anyway, let's get straight onto this episode. As we've noticed, the rivalry between Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin building up, it's most likely going to lead to a match between the two for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. Dave Meltzer noted on the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Corbin is a handpicked star and may eventually receive the title as a stepping stone being moved up to the top of the card on the SmackDown brand. The change may or may not happen at WrestleMania, but a victory for Corbin on that show would definitely solidify him as a major star in the company. As it has been mentioned, that Corbin is expected a big push within the ranks of the company, and it appears as if they're on that path. I'm happy to hear that. Corbin is great. Let's keep him strong and let's have him do that. The problem is, what did they do with Ambrose after? But Corbin over Ambrose any day. Then we see the point that Bray Wyatt pinned John Cena twice clean at Elimination Chamber and SmackDown to retain the championship for the second time. Sean Waltman, who was backstage at SmackDown this past week in California, revealed that in his recent podcast episode that it was actually Cena's idea to put Wyatt over at Tuesday's event. He said, "I'm not sure what the finish was supposed to be for the match that night, but I know this for a fact. John Cena insisted on putting Bray Wyatt over again last night. Insisted on it. That's not just a rumour." I'm very excited to hear that. Bray Wyatt needs to be pushed to the moon, seriously, and Luke Harper does. Luke Harper, US champion, let's do that. I'm up for that one. Maybe Sami Zayn to Luke Harper feud, that would be great. Hopefully that's on the cards. And now we have a story about Eva Marie, who's been off WWE television working on other projects. Posted a Q&A video session where she was asked about how she deals with all of her haters. She made the following remark to the question: "You know what, it's one of those things where we live in a day and age where social media makes the thing so much more accessible. So anyone who had a phone or computer, all they have to do is go on and use their computer and say something that they wouldn't normally say to somebody if they actually saw them face to face in person. I think that is a really big difference too. But for me personally, when I first started in WWE, that was my first time being on social media, and it was very, very new to me, and I'm not going to lie. When you first see negative comments or people say bad things about you, we're all human, it doesn't feel good. We all want to be liked and accepted. Sure, it's going to hurt and sting a little bit, but by the end of the day, you have to remember these people don't know you. They have no idea who you are as a person, how you interact with people on a day-to-day basis or anything. Like, I kind of feel bad for anyone who feels that they need to go to social media and leave some negative, because what good does that do? I don't think that's a very positive way to be. So for me, it's just kind of those people don't affect me day-to-day life, and I can't really take it to heart. Plus, as long as you're doing the best, you're living your life, it makes you feel good. The people around you know who you are and I think that's all that matters. So try not to really listen to the hate too much. Block out that shit. Nobody likes a little hater." I can completely agree with you there, Eva Marie. Obviously, people do need to let off about social media, about hating wrestlers, because that's how WWE learn, but I wouldn't personally attack anybody online. Yes, I say I hate Roman Reigns. I don't know if this is true of me saying bad things about him. Probably. But generally, he's not bad in the ring. It's just the shoving down our throats I don't like. But generally, he is a decent wrestler. That's the only time I'm going to bring up that subject. And as we saw on SmackDown Live again, Randy Orton forfeited his WWE title match against Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 33 this year. Daniel Bryan would later announce on Talk Smack there will be a battle royal to determine the new number one contender for the WWE title on this upcoming SmackDown. It's believed that WWE did this angle to help fill storyline for the next month, and Orton is still the plan for WWE title match against Bray at WrestleMania. WWE officials have also been considering making the match at WrestleMania the Wyatt family triple threat. Oh, doggy, that'd be intense. Please do that. Speaking of WrestleMania, AJ Styles being included in next week's number one contender battle royale as a part of the build for his match against Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. That is still happening, apparently. I like Shane McMahon. I like AJ Styles. It should be a good match. I just think AJ Styles should be facing somebody more on his level. I was going to say Baron Corbin, but he's a little bit busy. Okay, I can't think of anyone else for him to face, so yeah, let's do that. And as it's been reported before, Paige and Alberto El Patron got engaged after Paige proposed in the middle of a ring at WC Anniversary 43 in Puerto Rico. In an update to their wedding date, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that Alberto Del Rio and Paige's wedding is intensely scheduled for May this year. Good, congratulations, you guys. I've seen him live. He's pretty good. Still don't like him. I don't know what it is about Alberto Del Rio. Character-wise, I like him. Wrestling-wise, I just can't get behind it, and I don't know why. And now, Dave Meltzer has said the current plan right now is for Angle to wrestle in WWE on a very limited basis if he can pass a physical. According to Jim Ross, the feeling that Angle will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame by John Cena is nothing but has been confirmed at this point. John Cena inducting Kurt Angle. That is very interesting because obviously John Cena's first match was against Kurt Angle. Speaking of Jim Ross, JR wrote in the following about Bray Wyatt winning the title. Bray Wyatt winning the WWE title was strategics for sure. Ray is a significant character, babyface in the making IMO, and the fans at live events in the arena seem to agree. The entertaining and memorable Firefly entrance is pure fat face, and let's not forget Wyatt's grandfather, Black Jack Mulligan, was one of the greatest character faces of all time. Bray mentored Dusty Rhodes. As well as Bray's mentor, Dusty Rhodes. Bray was working hard on his ring and game promos, and his physique and condition is remarkable. He hasn't been afraid to try new material and doesn't have the same match every outing on TV as many peers oftentimes do. Bray Wyatt is timeless talent, and you'd see a star in the era, and that would be the best part of the past 40 years. Good. I like Bray Wyatt. Please do that. Please put him over. And now we have a John Cena update. John Cena is expected to take time off after WrestleMania this year to do more outside WWE projects. Cena is not including any advertisements for SmackDown events the week after WrestleMania. It's worth noting that he's also not advertised for the Money in the Bank either, which is on June 18th in St. Louis. And Finn Balor has also been advertised for the May European Tour for the Raw shows. So he should be back soon enough. Please let it be WrestleMania. That'd be good. And now we do have a bit of a spin on the Angle wrestling, actually. He was talking about managing some tag teams, mainly the American Alphas. He noted in an interview with Sky Sports, he said he praised American Alpha, saying he loves to watch them. Interestingly, later in the discussion, the former world champion said he would be happy to manage them. They remind me so much of Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin in the old Team Angle, while this Gabe kid also reminds me a little bit of myself, and I'll be happy to manage them to some extent. He also addressed the rumours of him returning for a match at WrestleMania 30. He won't be wrestling at the grandest stage of them all, while also claiming that we would find out soon whether he'd wrestle after that or not. I will not be wrestling at WrestleMania, but we'll find out soon whether I will be wrestling for WWE or not. There are so many guys I'd love to work with because the roster is so well groomed. Well, I hope you do wrestle, Kurt. I've seen you live. You're very good, mate. For the age you are, at 50, you can out-wrestle some of these 25-year-olds. You are amazing. Amazing. Oh, and Wrestling Inc. has had looked into the news that Randy Orton decided not to use his Royal Rumble win opportunity to challenge for the championship. They found an interesting loophole that would determine the next challenger for Bray Wyatt instead, in case you didn't know. Obviously, they're doing the Battle Royale. Then, it says, Randy Orton, the WWE's own rules, the man who finished as runner-up in the Royal Rumble should become Bray's next challenger. The runner-up was Roman Reigns. The fact that Reigns is a member of Royal roster may throw a spanner in the works, but that shouldn't stand in the way of WWE's own rules. Please don't book that match. Now, if you don't like death stories, I'd skip a little bit along here. I'll tell you when it's clear, but we're going to have quite a bit of death-related stuff in this episode now. Okay, WWE has officially confirmed the reports that WWE Hall of Famer George the Animal Steele has passed away at the age of 79. They put WWE is sad to learn that WWE Hall of Famer George the Animal Steele has passed away at 79. And then, according to wrestling talent age Eric Sim, he just tweeted out R.I.P. George Steele. Hulk Hogan then sent out his condolences. George Animal Steele, rest in peace, my brother. Love Only Love, Grateful HH, and then Jim Ross sent about saying, "Sad to hear the passing of an old friend and fellow WWE Hall of Famer George the Animal Steel at the age of 79. Yes, rest in peace, George the Animal Steel. You are now at peace after all your health sufferings." And next story, former WWE and ECW star Nicole Bass has unfortunately died. Her girlfriend posted on the Facebook page, "Dignity and respect, two things every person on the planet deserves, two things most very important to Nicole Bass. The past few days, Kristen Monroe, has been posting to my girlfriend's page and tried to keep her personal life private. Rumours have been spreading around the internet about her health. A few days ago, we didn't know all of what was going on, but now trying to figure out and keep it quiet until we had answers. Nicole values her privacy and respect, and I respect that. But if anyone tries to take the story and twist it up and make it ugly, I want to put it the respectful way. A few days ago, Nicole got very sick. She was brought into the hospital and they did everything they could to help her. I've been sitting here in her room 24/7 since she got here, making sure she'd be given the best possible care. Today we'll learn that there's nothing else we can do." Nicole was an amazing woman, strong not only on the outside but on the inside as well. Beautiful soul and kind heart. Many people knew Nicole, but few ever got close enough to know the real woman that she was. I got to be one of those very lucky few. Not only was she my soulmate and girlfriend, but she was my best friend, my teacher, my business partner. I learned many valuable things from her and created many beautiful memories at this time we have together. I'd like to keep her page open for her loving fans and friends to share photos and memories. I just ask that you treat Nicole with dignity and respect that she deserves. Thank you everyone who's been reaching out and helping me through this very difficult time. Nicole, I love you and I will always love you. I will always be yours and you will always be mine. My God. Rest in peace, Nicole. Lance Storm put the following message out about her as well. "I learnt tonight that Nicole Bass had passed away with the news that made me sadder than I expected. I didn't know her well, but we did work together in ECW. She was the only person in my career who could truly rib me. She was very open with her opinion that she had a very beautiful body and that she would often try to, as the songs say, hold it against her. She knew this made me very uncomfortable, which is why she worked as a rib. She didn't do that because she was mean. She was not a mean person. She was a light-hearted rib, nothing more, which was always why I sold the rib and never got angry with her. She was a strange and very troubled woman, but she was always very kind and good-hearted. I have not seen or spoken with her since we worked together in ECW, likely 18 plus years, which is why I'm surprised how sad this news makes me. I fear that she was likely very unhappy because of the ways others saw and treated her. She's an incredibly large woman, and I think because of that she often got treated like a freak. With her size, she is definitely freakish. She was anything but. She was a very kind, sweet woman who I'm glad I got to know. Rest in peace, Nicole. We did find out on Friday the 17th that she was technically alive but brain dead, and they took her off life support. Dave Meltzer confirmed that she either suffered a major stroke or a heart attack early in that week, which is what made her go to the hospital. It was confirmed later on the 17th that she had passed away after being taken off life support. So Nicole, rest in peace. Now, let's get through the last death news that I have. Wrestling legend, the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, real name Oriel Perez, has passed away at the age of 74. Koloff has been battling liver disease in recent years. Last week, his daughter said he was close to having liver failure. Koloff is best known for ending Bruno Sammartino's nearly 8-year reign of the WWF Championship in 1971. Tommy Dreamer gave his condolences online, saying, "One of the greatest bad guys of all time, Koloff, amazing wrestler, held WWE and every regional title. Prayer for his family's #Russian Bear." It's very sad to hear a wrestling legend has passed away. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. If he's not, he's definitely going to be considered now. And so will Nicole Bass. I can imagine she will most likely go into the Hall of Fame. And it is probably recommended because they were legends of the business. So please rest in peace, Nicole Bass, George the Animal Steel, and Ivan Koloff. Okay, now you can all watch again. There we go. Let's get straight on to more news. Sorry about the tragedy and death, and life is cruel sometimes. Let's move on. Impact Wrestling has made an offer to former TNA wrestler Nick Magnus Alice to return to the company, while the deal is yet to be complete. Talks between both parties are serious, according to the Wrestling Observer website. Magnus signed back with TNA in 2008 while TNA had captured the TNA World title along with another tag team reigns. Back in 2015, he made the following remarks regarding to his departure from the company. It was my decision, the way my contract was structured, without getting into too much detail. They couldn't release me. There was something in there that prevented that, which was nice. It was due to roll over to the end of June. At the beginning of June, I decided to give them notice that they hadn't contacted me regarding anything. It was structured that if they hadn't contacted me in a month out, I had an option to end it. There was a brief conversation. It was very friendly. I think they knew how I felt, and I knew they were in a pretty fun position financially where it gets difficult for them to honour contracts like mine. Not trying to disclose too much, I got pretty good authority from the office that I was in an upper OLOG in pay concern. There was not a position to offer the same structure. A year ago, I had made peace with the idea of leaving. I was already delivered everything I could give, whether I liked it or not. I knew my gut a year ago I wasn't going to stay. Well, if he comes back, I like Magnus. Don't bring Doug Williams, please, because I like Doug Williams in WCPW. And now, I've got a pretty funny story. Jeri Ryan appeared at an indie event Friday wearing a version of the Cody Rhodes WWE Stardust costume. He wrestled under the name Stardong. Stardong. Really, mate? Has even executed an altered version of the most famous maneuver in style of the Prince of Dark Matter. It's hard to argue that move wasn't over with the audience last night. It looked like an interesting character from the clip, to be fair. And now I've got just a couple of stories which actually I found quite interesting. Former WWE and WCW wrestler Sean Waltman talked about Goldberg and revealed at one point Goldberg wanted to use in the ring name The Hybrid when debuting in WCW. Goldberg first started, he came up to Scott, but he ran the idea about a name for himself. He was like, what do you think about the name of The Hybrid? I want to call myself The Hybrid. And we're like, The Hybrid's kind of, And he's like, why don't you just use your name? And he's like, my name's Goldberg. That's not cool. And he goes, it could be cool if you make it cool. If you're cool, Goldberg's cool. And sure enough. Well, that's very interesting that Goldberg didn't want that originally. I like that, to be fair. It's a air of behind-the-scenes footage, which I like. Then we have AJ Styles on a Q&A panel talking about his time in various promotions. When asked about the following in TNA before jumping to WWE, he said, Ring of Honor treated me really well. New Japan treated me like a superstar, so I've got to give them credit to that, which helped boost my ego a little because it was definitely flattened due to TNA service, but then doing all of that and then having the opportunity to come to WWE, whether people like it or not, WWE is easy, the best, the biggest, When it comes to wrestling, you don't get any bigger than WWE, and it means that you finally made it. And then regarding to his time with WWE so far, he said, I can tell you this, I'm certainly happy with making it to WWE, and thus far head and shoulder over the other places I've ever worked. Okay, a couple more left. Tamina returned to action on Saturday's live event in Canada. She teamed with Natalya and defeated the team of Alexa Bliss and Carmella. Some fan tweeted, awesome win tonight, Natalya and Tamina Snuka. Well, it's nice to know that she's back on the road after the unfortunate loss of her father. And last story, it's just rumours about post-WrestleMania Raw. The rumour's been circulating that WWE already has major plans for the Raw after WrestleMania, and the show's booked solid. Shinsuke Nakamura call-up and an appearance for Goldberg to cement a longer run with the company is just two rumours floating around. While both rumours could possibly happen, Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer took to Twitter to dispel the rumours and speculation. When asked if WWE had anything already planned, he said, Raw isn't written out until Friday before Monday. Even then, it's changed constantly until it goes on the air. So, while they probably haven't got fully plans, I'm going to assume they wouldn't be going in completely blind on the post-WrestleMania Raw, because it always has to be big stuff happens there. So, we'll have to see what they go with it. But anyway, that was your second edition of the Wrestling Newsroom this week. I hope you like this because there's that much news story. There's going to be 2 a week until the news kind of dies down. But anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. I've really enjoyed doing it. Please give it a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to see more content, and I'll catch you later.